Assalamu alaikum. This is Ghulam Abbas from MH Language Solutions. Today we'll discuss how can you write answer of IELTS Academic Writing Task 2. IELTS Academic Writing Task 2 is an essay. You need to write no less than 250 words in 40 minutes. There are different kind of essays which are given in this part. For details, have a look at this picture. In this picture, you can see there are 5 different kind of essays. The first one is an opinion essay, then advantages and disadvantages essay, problem and solutions, discussion of 2 different point of views essay, and the last one is 2-part essay. The response of IELTS Writing Task 2 question requires you to follow a certain structure. For details, please have a look at this picture. In this picture, you can see that there are 4 parts. These 4 parts are actually 4 paragraphs. In task 2, we usually write 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph is your introductory paragraph or introduction. The second one is your main paragraph number 1. Then we have main paragraph number 2, and the last one is your conclusion. Now let's discuss how can you write your introduction. Your introduction in task 2 should consist of 2 sentences. The first sentence is always paraphrase of the question that has been given. Whatever kind of essay you are given, the first sentence is always same. It is the paraphrase of the question, plus you need to add a little bit explanation. However, as far as second sentence of your introduction is concerned, it depends if the question is asking you about opinion or is it a non-opinion essay. If you have an opinion essay, then your second sentence is opinion. If it's a non-opinion essay, then your second sentence is an outline statement. In the case of opinion essay, we write opinion in the very first paragraph because this determines the shape of our answer. As far as outline sentence is concerned, in the case of non-opinion essays, we write outline sentence. It means we are trying to show the kind of structure we will be following, or in other words, we will be writing the purpose of each paragraph. For details, you can have a look at this example. In this example, you can see that there are 2 different introductions. The first one is introduction of an essay that has an opinion, and the second one is without opinion. The line which has a different color at the bottom of each these introduction, it shows that in opinion question we have written or we have given the opinion, but in a non-opinion essay we have written an outline sentence. By reading this sentence, you can easily understand how can you write an outline sentence. Moving on towards main paragraphs. Main paragraphs are 2, main paragraph number 1 and main paragraph number 2. These paragraphs, they are also written in a certain way. They follow a certain structure. For the structure of these paragraphs, please have a look at this picture. In this picture, you can observe that there are three parts in a main paragraph. First of all, you need to write the topic sentence. Topic sentence is actually the main argument, the main point that you are giving in favor of whatever you want to say. Along with that, you need to explain your main point. We also say that you need to add supporting details. Supporting details means the main point that you have talked about, you need to explain it so that one who is reading it can understand it easily. Lastly, you need to give an example to support the main argument that you were trying to make. If you don't have an example, you can talk about the results of the argument that you are given. If your argument is followed or implemented, what will be the result of it? However, if you don't have an example to give, or if you don't have a result that you can explain there or that you can talk about there, then you can only write your main point and you can explain it, or you can add supporting details into it. Many times I have seen students writing false examples which are not real, which are not true, but they suppose that examiner is maybe not aware of it, so I can write any example that I want to. So in my perception, if you don't know an example, it is better to leave the example, don't write the example. So this is how you are going to write your main paragraph number 2. For better understanding of how can you write your main paragraphs, please have a look at this example. Read the question first. In the question, you can see that the question asks that females, they should be given more participation in jobs. The main argument that we have selected or that we want to give here is that since females sometimes they outperform males in academics, they perform better than males in school and colleges, so that is why they can perform better at the workplace as well. So why not giving them an opportunity, or why not should we give them an opportunity at the workplace as well? So this is the main point that we want to make here. Since we are writing the main point, it means we need to add explanation of it, and if possible we need to give an example of it. So now let's have a look at an example. In this example, you will see that we have first of all our main argument. It has been written in a separate box. Then we have its explanation, and then an example has been given. Please have a look at this picture. In this picture, you can see three different boxes. The first box is about the main point. The second one is explaining the main point, and the third one is giving you an example. So this is when you gather all these points or all these parts, then you will have your main paragraph. What you have just seen is how can you develop your main point. This is only one main point. You can write one main point in your main paragraph, or you can also write two main points in your main paragraph depending on the nature of the question, or depending on the number of words that you are able to consume through your main points. If you think that your main point number 1 is taking less words and you need to write more, then obviously you can add a second main point in the same paragraph. Now let's move on towards writing the conclusion. This is the last part of your writing task to response. There are certain things that you need to be careful when you are writing your task to response. For details, have a look at this picture. In this picture, you can see that there are certain things that you should avoid when you are writing your conclusion. First of all, you don't need to give any new idea in the conclusion. In conclusion, you are expected to summarize only those ideas that you have already given. Second thing is, even if you have given your opinion in the first or introductory paragraph, you need to mention your opinion again more clearly, as if you are answering the question that was asked in the essay. When you are writing the summary of your main points, since in the conclusion we need to write the summary. So when you are going to write the summary of the main points that you have already written, keep in your mind that you are not going to use the same words that you have already used in the previous paragraph. When you are going to conclude your main points here in the last paragraph, try to use different vocabulary. Then another point is, don't try to add details to the main points. When you wrote your main points in your main paragraph number 1 and main paragraph number 2, there you also explained your main points, but here you are not going to explain them because you are writing summary. You are trying to conclude here, so that is why you don't need to add explanation. Just write the main points that you have written in your main paragraph number 1 and main paragraph number 2, but don't add any explanation. And even the main point, they should be written in different words. And usually 2 sentences, they are sufficient for conclusion. Now when you are writing a conclusion, you can start your conclusion with certain words. Please have a look at this picture for the words that you can use to start your conclusion. You can start your conclusion with using the word in conclusion, and then you will add comma, or you can say to summarize, to conclude, finally, lastly, or you can also say in a nutshell. When you write these words, you are giving a hint actually that now you are going to summarize all the main points that you have already discussed. And this will also show that now you are going to end your answer. Lastly, we are going to talk about the conclusion. Like our introduction, conclusion that we will produce also consists of 2 parts. The first part is same for all kind of essays. This part is about writing the summary of your main points. Main points that you have written in your main paragraph number 1 and in your main paragraph number 2. In the last paragraph, you need to summarize those points. Now, as far as the last sentence is concerned, or the last part of your conclusion is concerned, it is different for an opinion and non-opinion essay. For an opinion essay, you will only add an opinion. The way you added your opinion in the introduction, in the same way you are going to add your opinion in the conclusion, but obviously it should be in different words now. You should not use the same word that you used in the introduction. In a non-opinion essay, you need to write a general statement. Don't give your opinion if essay is not asking you to give your opinion. Rather, just give a general statement. General statement means that you can say that I have discussed the main points, and whatever measure should be taken, it should be taken keeping in view the points that I have discussed. For better understanding, please have a look at this picture. Now in this picture you can see that two conclusions have been given. The first conclusion is with opinion and the second conclusion is without opinion. If your question requires you to give your opinion, then in the last paragraph your second sentence should be your opinion. Opinion has been written in a different colored text so that you can easily understand it, you can easily notice it. Similarly, the conclusion that we have without opinion, you can see that we have not given any opinion here. Instead of giving an opinion, we have only written a general statement here. Dear students, this is how can you write your IELTS academic writing task 2 more appropriately and more effectively. I hope this lecture it helped you to understand IELTS writing task 2 in a better way. In the end, I would say thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next exciting video. Allah Hafiz.